Imran Khan. You hear that name, and it sparks so much passion, loyalty, and, yeah, a lot of fierce debate. But behind the celebrity, behind the politician, there's this one question that people have been trying to answer for decades.
Honestly, trying to pin down the real Imran Khan is like trying to catch smoke in your hands. He's just a man of these huge, very public contradictions. It's like he can be two completely opposite things, sometimes all at once.
So which is it? Is he the spiritual follower or the socialite from London, the elite Oxford grad or the man of the people from Me and Wally, the political prince who got the top job or the prisoner locked in a cell? And the big one, was he the establishment's guy or their biggest enemy? To understand any of this, you really have to go back to the beginning.
And at the very core of who he is, right from childhood, was this one single instinct, the absolute will to fight. I mean, picture this. It's 1965. War has broken out, bombs are falling on Lahore. His family is inside praying, but 13-year-old Imran Khan, he's not scared, he's angry. He actually grabs his rifle and heads outside, totally ready to join the fight. Of course, the adults sent him right back home. But that fire, that instinct to fight for his country, was already burning bright. And that night, his mom didn't scold him. Instead, she told him stories of Tipu Sultan, the tiger of Mysore. And this one lesson, it just stuck with him for his entire life. It became his North Star, really, the philosophy that would shape how he approached pretty much everything. Cricket, his charity work, and, eventually, politics.
And as he grew up, that philosophy was really put to the test, because he had to learn to live in two totally different worlds. This is what forged that dual identity that's followed him his whole life.
You've got to understand this split to understand him. Back in Pakistan, he was the celebrated cricket captain, a national hero in a pretty conservative country. But over in England, he was a completely different person. He was an Oxford graduate, living it up in London's high society, and that's where he got that Playboy tag that he's never really shaken. He was literally living two separate lives. And then came 1992. Now he's 40 years old, an age where most cricketers are long gone from the sport. But he's captaining this team of underdogs, his cornered tigers, and he leads them to a completely impossible World Cup victory. It was the absolute peak of his cricket career. But you know what? His head and his heart were already somewhere else entirely.
In fact, that amazing victory on the cricket field, it was all being driven by a challenge he'd taken on off the field, a really personal mission that came from a family tragedy. In 1985, the most important person in his world, his mother, died of cancer. And her death just completely changed him. He made a promise, a vow, that nobody in Pakistan should have to suffer the way she did just because they couldn't afford good treatment. He decided he was going to build a top-notch cancer hospital, and it would be free for those who couldn't pay. And he said it himself, loud and clear. He actually came out of retirement and played for 5 more years, including that World Cup, not for personal glory, but to raise money and get the word out about his hospital.
This, right here, was his first real political awakening. See, after the World Cup win, the big donations from the wealthy kind of dried up. So he took his cause to the streets. He toured 29 cities, and he saw something that blew him away. Normal, everyday people, even the poorest of the poor, gave whatever they had. An old woman gave her earrings, a little boy gave his pocket money. He was hoping to raise $400,000. He raised $5 million. This was the first time he really connected with the masses.
But even after the hospital opened, a whole new fight began. This time with government bureaucracy. Customs officials would hold up crucial medical equipment, asking for bribes. And that's when it hit him. To do good, to really make a change and fight a corrupt system, you needed political power. And the idea for a political party was born.
So, that realization throws him into politics. But unlike his cricket career, success didn't happen overnight. It was a long, hard, and often very lonely fight.
Just look at this timeline. It tells you everything about how long and tough his political journey was. He starts his party in '96. A year later, wiped out, not a single seat. It took him until 2002 just to win his own seat. And it wasn't until 2013, a full 17 years later, that his party finally had enough muscle to form a government, and even then it was just in one province. He was basically in the political wilderness for almost 2 decades.
So what changed? Well, in 2011, everything shifted. After all those years of struggling on his own, he made a really critical alliance with the country's powerful military establishment. They were looking for a third option to challenge the two old parties, and suddenly his rallies were packed and he became a real contender.
This new alliance launched him all the way to the highest office in the country. But it also planted the seeds for his eventual downfall, leading to one of the most unbelievable political roller coasters in recent memory. 22. After 22 long years of political struggle, in 2018, Imran Khan finally did it. He became prime minister. And for his millions of supporters, this wasn't just an election. It was the start of a new Pakistan, led by a guy they saw as completely incorruptible.
And for a while, the government ran on this unique setup: the civilian government and the military. They were famously on the same page, a powerful hybrid alliance that was supposed to bring stability. But that alliance broke down over one key job: the head of the powerful spy agency, the ISI. Khan didn't want the army chief's choice, he pushed back, and just like that, the page was torn. The whole relationship fell apart. And the fallout was fast and it was brutal. Within months of losing that military support, he was kicked out of office in a chaotic, late-night no-confidence vote. But instead of just disappearing, he hit the streets. He led these huge, unprecedented protests all over the country that really shook the system. Things kept escalating until at one of those rallies, someone tried to assassinate him. After that, a flood of legal cases came down, and eventually he was arrested and put in prison.
You know, he warned them this would happen. Before he was kicked out, he said this, and it turned out to be a prophecy. Once he was out of power, his popularity just exploded, and he became a much bigger, more unpredictable threat than he ever was as prime minister.
To really put his journey into perspective, just look at this chart. His predecessors, guys like Bhutto and Sharif, they became ministers within 3 or 4 years of getting into politics. It took Imran Khan 17 years just to get a taste of power in one province. His path was just uniquely long, uniquely difficult.
When you step back and look at his life, it's been one impossible goal after another. Beating the unbeatable West Indies cricket team, winning the World Cup at 40, building a world-class hospital when everyone said he couldn't, and then becoming prime minister. The guy has a serious track record of making the impossible happen.
Which brings us to today. The man who modeled his life on Tipu Sultan, the man who called his team his cornered tigers, is now himself cornered in a prison cell, up against the most powerful forces in the country. He has fought and won impossible battles his entire life. The question now is this the one fight he just can't win?